A familiar song we hear this time of the year is "I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day." You know that song? And that was written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. It was the year 1860, and Longfellow was at the peak of his success as a poet. Abraham Lincoln had just been elected president, giving hope to many, but things quickly turned dark for the United States and for Longfellow personally. The Civil War broke out, with brother fighting brother, sometimes even father fighting son. And then Longfellow's own wife died in a tragic accident in their home. She actually burned to death. In his attempt to save her, he was severely burned and was not even able to attend her funeral. So in his diary for Christmas Day 1861, he wrote these words, "How inexpressibly sad are the holidays." In 1862, the toll of war dead began to mount, and in his diary that year, Longfellow wrote these words, "A Merry Christmas, say the children, but there is no more for me." In 1863, his son, who had joined the Union Army, returned home from war, severely wounded. There was no entry in his diary that particular Christmas, and he wanted to pull out of his despair, so he decided to try to capture the joy of Christmas in verse. So he wrote these words, "I heard the bells on Christmas Day, the old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill toward men." But as he came to the third stanza, he was stopped by the thought of the condition of his beloved country. The Battle of Gettysburg had recently taken place, where many lives were lost and days looked dark, and so he went on to write these words, "In despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said. For hate is strong and mocks a song of peace on earth, goodwill to men." But then, catching an eternal perspective, he writes these words, "Then peal the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill toward men." See, Longfellow had to capture the essential message of Christmas again. And the essential message is, you are not alone. The essential message is, Immanuel, God is with us. And for those that are hurting, this is a very important message. Now, maybe you haven't lost a loved one, but maybe you've lost a spouse through divorce. And when you're entering your first Christmas as a divorced person, this is especially painful. You know, all those memories, what do you do with them? Some people will try to erase those memories and get rid of all of the get rid of all the photos of that one they were married to who maybe betrayed them or was unfaithful to them or walked out on them or whatever it was. And if you're really vindictive, you get the scissors out and cut them out of all the photos, you know. But it's painful. It's hard. And here is everybody else gathered together with their family, and you're all alone. One counselor said Christmas is a time to be home with families that are intact, doing cheerful and happy and fun things, and it's a time of cheer. But for others, it's a time of great pain, separation, anxiety, and loneliness. Well, here's my message for you. You're not alone. Christmas is about Christ coming. Immanuel, God is with us. Listen to this. Christmas is about undoing loneliness. And Jesus knows all about loneliness. Let me say something that might surprise you. Jesus Christ was the loneliest man who ever lived. You say, what? Oh yeah, it's true. Therefore, he understands your loneliness. He lived a life of loneliness. Isaiah 53 says, he was despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows. He was abandoned by his own disciples. He was betrayed by one of his closest friends. And even as I said earlier, the Father himself turned his back on Jesus for a time as he hung there in Calvary and bore the sin of the world, causing Christ to say, my God, why have you forsaken me? Therefore, when you talk about loneliness, you have a God that knows what you're going through, and he is here for you, and he has promised to never leave you or forsake you. If no one else understands you, he does. If everybody else fails you, he will not. Jesus said, lo, I am with you even unto the end of the age. That's not just a promise for short people. Lo, I am with you. That was a joke. Oh, tough crowd. Okay. I get no respect. But he's with us no matter what we're going through. People will turn to a lot of crazy things, especially in the holidays. They'll turn to drugs and alcohol. You don't need the spirits. You need the Spirit. That's it.